Kurrawa Surf Club, or known as the Broad Beach Charger, the 75 kilowatt that they put in there. It's come out with a pricing of 30 cents a kilowatt hour there. And the normal Charge Fox price is 40, so yeah, that's the other prices are up there. They haven't changed from the other meetings that I've presented that slide. All right, I promised I would organise a lot of EV events this year, seeing as we didn't have too many last year, and this is a list. So we had the casual EV meetup at North Lakes, so we had 23 EVs there. These guys came. Yeah, it was good. It was a good turnout, and we're having the same thing at Springwood IKEA on the 7th of March, which is 2 or 3 weeks away. That one's on a Sunday. The first one I did on a Friday. Kind of just worked in with my roster. Eventually, I won't have to turn up. I'll just organise the things, but. This one at March is just going to do a duplication, just meet at the chargers, and whoever wants to come along, and we can just have a session where we talk about EVs. So, Gav, you went to the, I'm glad you came along because you're the only one that wasn't in a Tesla that went to the Toka winery tour. How was that? All good? You don't want to say anything? Just very quickly. So it's about, what was it, 284 Ks?
Yeah, it's quite a distance. I only arrived for the last event, but they lined up all the Teslas, 21 side by side. Nice. And Lawrence, who's the joint member of Toka and also AEVA, he had his drone, so he took videos of all the cars by his drone. And then they had a lunch there, which is very good. So I had a good chat with a lot of the Toka members.
What was the destination that you had the lunch at?
Overflow Estate.
Overflow Estate.
Yeah, the winery there.
And how was that?
It was good, yes. The meals were very impressive, and they had a winery test as well. Tasting? It was actually wine tasting. Yeah, I didn't drink any wine, but yes, it was very popular. And got to know a lot about the Teslas from them, the new Plaids coming out. Later this year in the US, which is supposed to be about 1.9, 0 to 60 miles per hour, which is very impressive. So yes, everybody there had a good time.
Yeah.
And yes, I think...
What was the breakdown of models, S, X and 3?
Probably only about one or two X's, and probably the rest was split evenly between 3s and S's. Okay. Right. And about 4 different colours.
4 different colours?
Yes. And they said that we'd do a lot more joint events between the Toka and AEVA. So it was very successful, so I encourage anybody else to go along to the Toka events as well.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I am promoting the Tesla guys integrate a bit more, as I've mentioned a few times here, that they integrate a bit more with us and us with them, just as it makes it so a lot of preparation goes into some of these EV events, and then just to have like a whole bunch of EV people that would like to go excluded doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm organising a lot of stuff with Luke for this year, so I'll keep going with this. They've got another, on the same day that I've got the EV meetup, the casual EV meetup, they're actually doing a long drive to lunch. So you can find that online or you can ask me to give you a link to it, or I can give you contact with people if you need if you're interested in going on that. I think it's just a starting point, and then going for lunch. It's quite a few kilometres involved. We've got the next meeting on the 17th of March here, and I'm going to topic that electric bikes and motorbikes. Electric bikes and electric motorbikes. So we'll have, I'm going to try and get a few people who've converted their motorbikes in, and a few other bits, and maybe I'll get Wolfgang back in as well, because he's got that Harley type motorbike that's interesting. On the 21st is the Noosa EV Expo at Noosa, but I have created an event for people to join to go from Toombul to Noosa in a cruise style fashion. So if you're interested in more information, let me know about that. And then in April, we'll do something similar, but there'll be the EnviroTech Day, which is all about sustainability up at Gympie. Both of these events were cancelled obviously last year, so we will try and support them with lots of EVs up there. I've contacted both the organisers of those things, and they're interested in having EVs come along, so that's really good. Thanks, Les. All right. So that's it from me, and I mean it this time, not like last month when I kept on going. Nicole from AFS is here to so I've just asked these guys to come along and have a quick chat about their businesses, just as a support of them for supporting us. I sent it on an email, Les, that PDF. There we go. All right. Thank you very much, Nicole.
Thank you. Alrighty. Hi, everyone. My name's Nicole Barnard, and I'm from Automotive Financial Services. Today, I'm just going to give you a bit of a background of who we are, what we do, and basically wanting to chat to you about how you can finance your electric vehicle. Okay, so us as a business, we've been around since 1988. So we've been around for a long time. We are experts in that auto asset finance space. Next slide, please. So yeah, been around for a long time, and we've got a broad product suite. So with AFS, we are more than just cars. We finance boats, bikes, caravans, jet skis, camper trailers, motorhomes, the whole lot. But the main focus this evening is talking about how we can finance electric vehicles, as well as your electric motorbikes and scooters. Okay, so why AFS? So we've been around for a long time. We're obviously striving to be a good citizen, and we believe that driving an EV, removes the harmful air pollution from the atmosphere. So we want to reduce that, and we want to help finance people into electric vehicles. So we believe this partnership that we have with the Australian Electric Vehicle Association will, be able to help you guys. We have a platform which I'll talk more about in the next few slides. Okay, so the program strategy. So basically what we're looking to do is to support you guys, the members, family and friends, into financing electric vehicles. So we've come out with a special electric vehicle finance rate. So we're doing rates from 5.99%, and that is better than our normal rate to your normal customer purchasing a normal vehicle. So this is a special rate for purchasing electric vehicles, motorbikes, scooters. So how we plan on doing that is we have our system which is called Drive-Through, so that is our application portal. And what we have is we have a telesales type model to help support you putting in an application to AFS to finance. So we have a dedicated team that will be looking after any Australian Electric Vehicle Association members, family and friends to help finance these vehicles. So as I said, that's a bit of a look at our system. You can either ring in and do a over the phone application, or we could integrate a link onto your website where customers can or members can click on that link, and that'll take you directly onto our AFS Apply website. So a big part of our business is obviously our brand. So we've been around for a long time. We've built our brand and our people. Without our people, obviously, we won't be where we are today. So we're wanting to get more into that electric vehicle space. It is on the up. So that is a focus for us as a business. And, I know a lot of these vehicles are on the pricier side, but they're coming into the more affordable ranges, which is great. So we can finance deals up to $100,000. So there definitely are options there for the pricier ones. Alrighty, so that is us in a nutshell. What I will do is I'll leave a couple of my business cards here. If anyone has any questions, happy for you to flick me an email if you have any deals on the go or any, vehicles that you're interested in looking at financing. Also, just pick up the phone and have a chat. So, has anyone got a question at all? Yep.
Would you finance EV conversions?
We're potentially looking into that as a personal loan option, but at this stage it's solely just financing the actual EV itself. Yeah.
Have you had much uptake of EV owners taking out loans? Yep.
So we've had a few where they've actually been imported. I know the Good Car company in Tassie, they do the imports and stuff. So we haven't necessarily seen a lot from them directly, but we have seen a few via our broker network because we deal with brokers. And yeah, we have seen a few.
Is there any limitations on stuff that you don't do loans for?
So it's across the board. So obviously the conversions is not something we could do at the moment, but if you've got someone that's after a Nissan Leaf, we could finance that. We also do imports, so a few of those are imported. We can do so, new and used. So.
Right. Any other questions, guys? Yes, mate.
Yeah.
Do you have comprehensive insurance or policy?
So we don't actually have a product that we finance in, but I can look into that. We have an affiliation with Suncorp, so that's something I could have a chat to them about too.
Okay. All right.
Cool. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. You did hit the nail on the head. EVs are quite expensive at the moment, and I think people do need all the help they can get.
Cool. Good evening. I'm Jeremy. Thanks for inviting me along to have a chat. I am from GPS Engine. We develop GPS tracking solutions for consumer vehicles, fleet vehicles, that type of thing. A bit of the presentation I'm doing is from another part of our company, which is also Sensium, which is the front end, the B2B sort of sales side of the company. But I'll just start on GPS Engine. So we've joined this association as GPS Engine, and that's because we're developing products around vehicle tracking to do with EVs. So in the past, we've talked to governments, councils and that type of thing, who have gone to get EVs as part of their fleet vehicle, and they've got scared, got cold feet, they don't know how they work, they don't understand the battery charging, all that type of thing, so they've backed out and got petrol cars instead. So I'll go through this and sort of touch on a little bit more about that. We've been around for 15 years. We started in New Zealand, and I've been here for 10 years in Australia. We locally develop the hardware and the platform, the software, the whole lot for the vehicle tracking. So it's made for Australian conditions and certifications and everything. Go to the next one. Just the size of the business, we collect about 200 million points a month. I hope that says a month. From vehicles across Australia and New Zealand. So this is just consumer, people with their own car that they want to recover if it gets stolen, right through to fleet, electricians, plumbers, transport, the whole, anyone with a vehicle generally out on the road. So if we go to the next one. Yoink. And that's what it looks like. So I'll just grab this. Just as a bit of an overview of what we do, there's a little black box, literally a black box that goes into your car. That plugs in to the CAN bus or just hardwired into power earth ignition. We also do other things like driver ID, so that plugs into there. Driver tags on when he gets into the vehicle so the company knows who's driving the vehicle. And then they look at a thing on their computer that looks like that, that shows a list of all their vehicles, where they are, how fast they're going. They can run reports, set alerts for speeding, entering and exiting zones, full fleet management. Other way, because we develop everything end to end, we're quite different to everybody else in our industry. This is a video. Can you play that? Is it? Just try playing that. I'm not sure what it'll do, but we'll give it a go. So most GPS tracking products, when a vehicle's moving, it takes like a snapshot of what's happening, sends that information back to a platform, and doesn't do anything again for a couple of minutes to 2 kilometres or a kilometre. Where our one is continually collecting the data. So this is sort of showing that between those 2 points, you don't know what the vehicle's done. Could be speeding, could be going anywhere, could be doing anything. But ours is different, of course. It continually tracks the vehicle, like streams that data back. It's kind of like the difference between a photo and a video. So we say the highest resolution of tracking in the industry. I'm sort of jumping around, but and that's the thing that goes in your vehicle. So yeah, we call that true path tracking. It's all pretty cool. Loads of other features. Let's get that. But that product isn't the reason I was here to talk. It was just sort of a bit of a sidetrack. What we're actually doing is, as part of our, get the next one. Get the next one. Could talk about all of this, but so what we've been working on at the moment is we've been doing a lot around transport with TCA, Transport Certification Authority approvals on our hardware to do things in the transport industry around trucks, onboard mass, road infrastructure management type things, but we're sort of coming to an end on that. So our next focus we're looking at is EVs, as I sort of touched on before. So what we want to do is start building some, you saw that screenshot before of the front end that you see with the maps and that sort of thing. Just go to the next thing, hopefully we're here. So the idea is to build a dashboard in our platform that shows more EV information. So things like your battery charge, temperatures, histories of battery charges, your range to empty and that type of thing. So if you go to the next one. So in a fleet situation, a fleet manager can just jump in, have a look at their entire fleet, see and decide which vehicle would be best for which journey. If somebody's going a long way, they'll pick the Tesla because it's got a full battery. And if they're only going down the road for a coffee, they might just grab the MG ZS. Apparently they exist. So the idea of coming here is to get more involved in the EV side of things. It's something I don't know a lot about personally. Once you open the bonnet, I know everything about petrol engines and normal cars. So the idea is to start learning a bit more, learn how the CAN bus works, get the opportunity to talk to some of other members, and if possible, plug into the cars and just take some logs out of what the CAN bus is doing, so we can use that information to really get a jump start on building this stuff. What's next? This is just sort of talking about EVs and saying I know a lot about cars. My background from years ago was a mechanic. As I sort of left school, got into mechanic, always had a passion for cars. So I do own a few at the moment, different ones. And one of them, if you just push play on this and I'll just sort of talk, it's a video too. This is an ad that's just come out for Triple M, which is kind of cool. If it had soundies singing to some song, singing along, rocking away. And the car that's in this at the end, which will be in about 10 seconds, is one of mine. And the plans for this car is to become an EV at some stage. So just 2 seconds of it there. But it's a 84 Toyota Supra.
Easy. We'll do that.
Done. And I've had it for a few years, and every time I look at it, I go, this thing needs to be EV. It's the perfect retro digital dash, has to be an EV. So that's a bit about me, and I think that might be it.
How do you manage to get that better resolution? Are you just, does your software and hardware just ping more frequently compared to regular hardware?
It does. So because we develop the hardware, the platform, the communication protocol, we do a lot more in the device side of things, where it's sampling a lot more data, being a lot smarter around what it sends back. So it's low. We use low data on a monthly data at the same time, but it's a lot of, like it is, we call it true path. So anywhere that vehicle's travelled, we know that we're within about 2% of the actual speeds that it was doing, just the way we sample and send that data. So.
Okay. Do we have any questions?
Yes. Yep.
Do you have a model that will need to be designed in the car?
We do. We've actually got a module, so the device can do it. So we've got a disable feature in the device. We've also got a module that we're just releasing shortly that has relays and everything built in to make it much more plug and play, with nice automotive relays and all that sort of thing in it. But you can just sort of build it up yourself as well, put in your own relays onto the unit.
Is it
So
normally
yes.
just plugging into the OBD2 port?
Yep, sure is. So we've got. So at the moment we do support CAN bus through OBD2. We also do J1939 for your trucks, or you can just hardwire in as well with power recognition and a bunch of IOs.
Right. Yes, Simone?
Yeah, just a quick question. Is your target market specifically fleet?
No.
Or could it be used as far as like theft recovery?
Totally. So on our platform we've got two different like tiers. So one we call Essentials, and that's targeted around consumers with their own vehicles that want to track it if it gets stolen. Or tracking your own vehicle for FBT if you're using it for work and that type of thing as well.
And so does that allow somebody who owns a car or a fleet a better, I guess, I can't think of the word, but like when you go for insurance,
Yes.
do they recognise that it's a system that can obviously track it really well and also possibly shut down the car?
Yep, absolutely. So you always need to talk to your insurance company. Some of them that we talk to, especially in commercial, a lot of companies are already getting the lowest rate they'll get, but insurance companies are willing to do something around zero excess on theft and that type of thing. So there's always something the insurance companies will do. Yes?
Is there an alert if the car moves?
Sure is, yep. So there's a moving alert, which you just set on the platform once, and every time it moves, it'll just send you an alert to the app. You can have an ignition on alert, and you can have geofence alerts, so the whole lot. Yep.
We've got a question from Michael over here.
Michael?
Yeah, one of those questions have been answered, but next is cost. What is the cost?
Cost? For the piece of hardware, we're $295 up front per unit, including GST. Then the two plans we've got, one is $12 per month per device, and that's your Essentials consumer plan, and $26 a month for the professional.
Does that include your data cost?
Yes. Yep. Yep. Oh,
Just at the back.
back.
I've got a few questions set to hang around. I'll ask you others, but just
Yep.
one that might be of interest to quick. Does it integrate with any accounting software? Because for small businesses that half a dozen Bms, that's
Yep.
perfect for that sort of stuff.
We don't have any integrations done for in accounting, but there is an API, so you can quite simply pull the data out and do what you want with it.
Yeah, because I know there's an accounting product out there now, where you sales are just taken off because
Yep.
no one needs to write that in all the books.
Yep. Yeah, so, and the good thing too, like in the reports, one of the reports is a time on site report. So if you've got your customers in there, you run your report off for the day and it just shows you every one of your vehicles, where they've been, how long they were there, how they drove between sites. Yep. 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 In the past, we've done integrations with things like GeoOp and a few things like that, which look after the job side of that sort of thing, and it grabs the vehicle data out and puts it in there. So it's easily doable, yes. Yeah.
Maybe one last question. If we have any more questions after this, perhaps just get them afterwards and we'll keep moving.
From what I've seen so far, they all do. They all use different plugs. So the Tesla has got some weird rectangle shaped thing. A handful of them have the standard OBD2. But what I've seen is they run quite a few different CAN buses in the vehicle. So part of what I'm trying to work out now is what's on what, and how many CAN buses do we need to read per device. I think we'll need to read 2, one to get your vehicle type data and one to get your battery and charge type data.
All right. Thank you very much, mate.
No worries.
All right. Thank you, Jeremy. It sounds like pretty good technology, really, for protecting your car. I know there's stuff available, but appreciate you coming in. All right, we have Anthony from Prohelion. This is your business. You started it from scratch, mate?
Yeah, so we've been on business partner start from scratch. Yeah, good day.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, thanks. Thanks for having me here. I'm Anthony, as you said, from Prohelion. Might as well jump to the first slide. We are a company that has grown out of solar car racing. So my co-founder and I and our members or our employees all come out of the solar car racing environment. We come from Team Arrow. We've run 2 cars over a number of races, both here in Australia and internationally. And we always said that this is fun, but takes up so much time. It'd be great if we could be paid for it, and we think we found a way to do that. So that's what Prohelion was born from. So what we do, we provide a bunch of technologies based around batteries and electric motors and supporting systems. And we also have the capability to integrate, monitor and manage CAN-enabled devices as well, not just our own devices, but other things also. Next one. Okay, sorry for the very wordy points here. But essentially we do BMSs, custom battery design, fairly large batteries. We've made 30 to 40 kilowatt hour batteries, down to 5, down to sub 1 kilowatt batteries as well. So we tend to do very custom designs for people who want very specific kind of batteries. We also we work in the solar industry as well, so we have MPPTs that are optimised for solar cars. Don't have much interest for you guys, but that's what we do. It's part of our market. We also do monitoring applications we're working on now, so you can monitor the cars, the batteries from all around the world. We also make solar panels as well, very custom specific solar panels to spec out of Gorilla Glass and plastic encapsulation as well. Very lightweight, very high power solar panels. And also do some fabrication of carbon fibre and Kevlar, etc., small parts. Okay. Just a quick system roadmap of what we're looking at doing both now and in the future. So we mainly work around batteries, so the BMS systems within the battery. We don't make the cells, obviously we assemble into complete components. We work with motor controllers, moving into chargers as well, MPPTs, and then our data up into the cloud so you can monitor remotely what we're doing. That's our general roadmap. Next page. And this is an example of one of the systems that we've made. What we generally do is we have a very modular system. You buy in modules of approximately 1 kilowatt and put them together to make your system a complete battery system. We incorporate a control module as well, which has your BMSs and your contactors in that, and a 12 volt if you need that as well. You can see that screen there. That's one of our batteries we made for a solar car in 2019. That's a 40 kilowatt system, that one. A bunch of 18650s inside that. And we can design these to specification, build them in Australia, assemble and build them in Brisbane. Yep. And you can see that's one of our sub-modules that go inside our battery. As you can see, 18650s, integrated BMS into that module. So basically you buy those and you can assemble them together into as large a module as you want. We can custom make these to your specification, or we can buy a standard one off the shelf. And we can also rack mount them as well for stationary applications, not just for cars, also if you wanted a power rack, a power wall as well, we can do that too. Yep. And that's a quick diagram of our control module. So grab one of those. As you can see, it's got contactors, fuses, 12 volt, and a BMS, all controllable by CAN, monitorable by CAN. And each one of our pack generally contains one or two of those modules. We skip that, that's just our BMSs, we make our own BMS, there's a lot of detail there to talk in there. Some of our specifications, it comes in it's a modular BMS, so you buy the BMU, which is the master module, and then a number of CMUs which actually monitor the cells, so you can scale it up to be quite large. You can have up to 1,000 individual cells in that one. Next one. And that's the CMU, so each one of those can monitor 8 cells or 8 sets of cells in parallel. Yep, thanks. Also do some CAN controls. If you want, in particular, any inputs or outputs on CAN, we can manufacture those as well, which all talks back into our system. This is a PowerPoint tracker, so if you're interested in solar on your car, these things are quite efficient. They're really designed for solar car racing, it's a bit niche, but this can get 99% efficiency of your solar off your panels into your batteries. Yep. Okay, so something we're moving into, we've just recently signed a contract to manufacture wave sculptors. You might be familiar with these. I can't really mention the name of who used to make them, but we're currently making those now. So it's a 20 kilowatt wave sculptor 22, and also a 165 kilowatt wave sculptor 200. They're designed to driving electric motors. There's some details there. Yep. Now to wrap all this together, we have our system called Profinity, and that can talk via CAN to all the components in our system. And all on the one screen you can see your motor controller, your battery, your MPPTs, and any other CAN controllable device. We can customise this to talk to any CAN device and put it on one piece of glass. And a new feature we've just gone live with is you can actually share this data. So if you've got an issue and you want to call back to either us for support or someone else is providing support, you can basically click on a link and send a link to them, and they can connect in and watch your battery in real time and monitor it in real time. So we think that's going to be a really handy little feature. Anywhere in the world, you can see that. Yep. Like I mentioned, we do solar panel design and construction, very lightweight, high power solar panels. You can see here, that's on our 2017 TMR racing car. So these panels are made with Gorilla Glass encapsulation. With SunPower solar cells, that's about 24% efficient, those solar arrays. We make them to spec, so if you want a specific size, we can cut that up and make those cells to you, any shape you want, and make them in Brisbane in our own factory. Yep. Coming soon, so we've currently in the process of making some new products. We're updating our BMS to use the new architectures to make that more efficient. Also looking to do some cloud-based storage of the BMS data, so not just real time, you can actually log in and have historical data for your BMS, so you can track over time and see how's my battery performing, is it starting to degrade, do I need to upgrade? Any alerts as well on overheating, high voltage, low voltage, that kind of stuff as well. And we're improving our charge integration, so they're a little bit finicky, our battery charging at the moment, so we're putting J1772 compatibility is coming really soon. Yep. And just a quick case study. So this is one of the batteries I spoke about earlier. You can see the ATN solar car Priscilla that recently competed in the World Solar Challenge in 2019. So they asked us to make their battery for them. So that's a battery wrapped up in a Kevlar case. We've custom made for them. So they use that to run the race between Darwin and Adelaide. That's a 3,000 kilometre race in their solar car. Okay, and I think that's it. Yes?
Will you be in the race in 2021?
It's just been announced last week it's been cancelled. So we'll be there in 2023. But there may be an alternative race. There's talk amongst a couple of teams to do something local. Instead of the global one, it might be an Australian competition with Australian teams. Possibly in New South Wales that'll be hosted. But that's really early days yet, so we hope that that'll get up.
Mate, you mentioned that the current, or was it the previous race people were coming to you, but who are your main customers? Are you doing sort of niche stuff, or is it, do you have regular customers as well?
We have our, probably by dollar value, it's our race customers, because these things actually cost quite a bit to make. But we are working with a couple of teams, a couple of companies in Melbourne on electric cars as well. So
what would be the likelihood of people here being able to employ your services for making a pack with BMS for an EV conversion?
Yes, that's what I'm here to talk about today.
Right.
It's something we want to move into.
I'm sure there'll be plenty of interest for that.
Yeah, and I'm happy to talk to anyone who wants to talk about that. So we do things completely to order. We work on all chemistries, battery sizes. We've worked in the big prismatics down to 18650s.
Yeah. And how do you go getting the batteries themselves? Are you ordering them straight off for like LG Chem or Tesla or? We've
got a distributor in Australia that we buy from usually. Okay. We have one bought overseas as well when I can't get those. So yeah. So and if you're not interested, if you want to build your own battery, we're happy to provide the BMS as well. So whether you want the modules or the whole thing or just the power parts, we'll talk to you. We can do whatever you want there.
Okay. Do we have any other questions?
No. Yeah, sure.
So I want another one.
BMS.
Yes.
Monitoring system.
Yes.
So at the moment you're using it on your own cells. Can they be used on other cells?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Any cells at all. So
Yep.
I think I've sold stuff to you just recently, actually. Yeah. Yes.
Just a couple of quick questions. Do you guys see much need or much market on sort of the non-EV stuff? So things like electric lawnmowers, machinery, like small bobcat type stuff. Or is that really your main game is the niche sort of?
Yeah, so I guess our business plan is go working on the solar cars to the low volume, high profit, high margin to build our systems, and then we want to move more into more mainstream areas with that. So
yeah. Sort of like off the shelf to fit, just machinery, for instance, a lot of that sort of machinery around that works hard is absolutely perfect for EVs. You don't have high revenue diesel engines blowing up flames and construction sites.
Yeah.
Second one is with your solar cells.
Yes.
Have you looked at any building integrated stuff? Because that looks like something that would be interesting. Might be too pricey for that.
Yeah, we tend to be very niche markets, so it's very bespoke, specific requirements that we use. So put one of our systems on your roof, just buy
But architecturally designed buildings like the Opera House, for instance,
we are, I don't know how much I can talk about. We are doing some architectural work, and it's quite interesting what that is. So it's not where you may expect to see a solar cell. So,
Watch this space, right?
Yeah, watch that one. Yeah.
It just sounds interesting that it could be applied to.
Yeah. But it's just funny. People come to me and they say, "I want to do this," and I say, "Well, that's a solar car with wings, or that's a solar car without wheels." So it's the same system, just scaled up or down, depending on the application. So.
I guess you just want customers to come in and stick with what you do. Like, don't keep asking these crazy things.
Oh, that's what keeps it interesting. I come and someone asks me, I come back to the team, and they go, "Oh, what do you talk about now?" So,
do you actually manufacture the panel? Solar panel?
Yeah, we buy the cells and we manufacture the panels. So,
are you buying like small cells and then making a larger array?
Yeah. So take the cells, solder them together, cook them in an oven, and make a panel.
So for the top of a car, what would be the process for covering the top of a car with solar cells?
It'd be similar to a solar car. So we'd
just elaborate.
Yeah, sure.
A solar rack rather than a
I wish you could do that. It tends to be what we've done for the solar cars is using Gorilla Glass, so it's pieces about yay big, and it's best if it's a little indented a little bit, so it's probably hard to retrofit it. If we got excited, we probably could get a piece of glass that would fit into there nicely with the right shapes and everything. You're talking really bespoke there, but we could do that. But yeah, the thing about solar cars on the roof, it's not a lot of power really. Like the solar, you could probably run some aircon or run your heating, but it's not going to give you a lot of range because there's only so much power you can get from the sun. The solar cars are designed to be very light and super aerodynamic, so they can run at 80k an hour from Darwin to Adelaide quite easily. But these things are heavy. And
at work, when people find out that I'm interested in EVs, they're like, "Oh, have you got solar panels on your car?" And I have to kind of explain to them that, you know, that doesn't kind of work that well.
Yeah.
But the things where like maybe people have like camper vans and stuff, I just see like a bolted on 250 watt panel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, I sometimes wonder if like it was actually a coating across the entire top of the car, it would work a lot better. So
yeah, well,
but does your pricing sort of prohibit that?
depends on
your business?
Probably, yeah. But one thing we want to play with is it's all about getting form factors to markets. And one idea is like the camper market's huge and there's some really ugly solar panels out there. So I think you could do an iPhone of solar panels and batteries, do something integrated, that'd be really quite sexy, I think so. And if you bulk produce that, then the price would come down. It's just we do everything in really short batches. But that's, it's basically, you match a solar panel and a battery and you get a form factor and you put it together, and that's kind of what we do, so yeah. Yeah, so if someone's got an idea they want to do a long run design, we can talk to us and figure out how to make that work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Any other questions while we've got Anthony up here? All right.
Okay. All right, great. Well, I'll leave some cards as well, so if you want to talk to me, otherwise grab a card and all that. Yeah.
Thank you for coming along.
No worries, thanks a lot, it's been a pleasure.
Cheers.
Okay, cheers.
Just to thank you again to our three speakers, because as I mentioned earlier, they are our financial support at AEVA, and we really appreciate that. I think with this many EVs in the hall, we're going to have a pretty decent chat about this. So unless anyone else, has anyone else got anything they want to raise while we're here? Okay. Well, thank you very much. We'll we want to put the live stream on the cars and just turn around, and that's it, guys. We can just break up and have a chat. Thanks very much.